Kiara, salam and hello. Recently I accepted a project to make a tutorial video and explaining how do I get inspired when I'm drawing something. I choose to draw a self-portrait because I believe we are the most familiar object for ourselves and it's easy to draw. I already gave it a try but it's not so good. Your first try is not your best try, so let's start over. But first we need to check the to-do list and see what should we do and how we should fill the blank page in front of ourselves. The first thing we have to do is to have a rough imagination of what we want to draw. And in this project it's not too hard because we want to draw ourselves. That means we can get inspired by who we are, what we like, what we don't like, and our perspective to the world. Okay, great, done. Now we have to pick an angle to see ourselves and draw also from that angle. I'm suggesting to use an easy angle like a point of view or an angle that you see yourself in the mirror every time. But you also can get inspired by other artists' artworks and also take a photo of yourself, draw yourself from a specific angle. But for the start, let's ease into the illustration board and choose a simple angle, not a very complicated angle. Okay, let's start the sketching. Keep sketching until you make sure you are in the right track. You make sure you can tell your story through your lines. Keep sketching until you feel this is what you want to show to the people. It's good to have a painting, to have a drawing, to be proud of. We have all the time that we need, so don't rush it. Just keep redo everything until you feel yes, this is right. Okay, now it's time to think about the environment and the background. You have to create an archive and collect every art that makes you inspired. For example, I collect this art from Alex Dos Diaz and I choose this specific artwork because owl is my favorite animal and it's a symbol of knowledge and I want to have feathers in my background. So just collect everything that makes you inspired. Music, poem, photography, videos. Okay, now we have one of the important assets for the rest of the illustration. For me, it's the feathers. For you, it can be chocolate, it can be butterfly, it can be rainbow, it can be absolutely whatever that you feel somehow it's presenting you. You can show yourself to the world without telling it. But we want more inspiration. We want more object and subject for the environment. Now, let's play a game. The game is just let your mind randomly pick memories from old days or recently events and show them to you. It can be a specific tone, it can be a smell of a strawberry, it can be a story that your neighbor friends told on the phone to somebody else. It can be absolutely anything, but somehow it is stuck in your mind and it creates who you are now. Or it can be an obsession. For me, it's sunlight. Or it can be just a moment. I remember when I was 8 or 7, I was sitting in the back seat and my mom driving, and we were about to cross a bridge, and she told me to open both windows and sit in the middle. When we were on top of the bridge, the wind came into the car and just blew my hair. And it was a hot summer, and that moment of coldness just stuck in my mind. It can be something that simple. It can be air. Now we have to combine 2 or 3 memories, interests, or obsession of ourselves and merge them together and tell the world who we are without using our words. I want to have a sun on my background. It shows my interest in light, and also it shows my mindset in life. I have to read good books. I have to read good from great people. I have to listen to the good music, to the better podcasts, to the ebooks, so I can be able to share good and inspire good in other people's life. Okay, now it's time to draw the background. For me, it's the sun. How it should look like. Like, how do you like it? It's yours. It's your thing. It's your obsession. It's your memory. It's your feeling. It should look like how do you want it to look like. Now it's time to show the world your point of view. What I have in mind is 2 sets of sun in the background, overlap of each other. Now it's time to draw the second sun. Okay, I think one of the most important steps in illustration is to try out your ideas. If they didn't work out, better. Now we know what's not working out. I know in part of the illustration I want to use flowers. I already did it in my old illustrations, and I know I want to do the same thing here. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to change them in the future, but I just want to try them out and see how they look like and how they makes me feel. As I was expected, I didn't like these flowers, but I want to use another flowers that I used in one of my other illustration. Fortunately, I already have the pattern of that flowers, so the only thing that I have to do is just bring the pattern and trace the roses. This is time saving. You can do this. If you already designed something, you can just reuse it. If you feel like you have to change something, just trust your feeling and change it. You have the time to change it and get to the point that you feel like, yes, this is it. This is how I feel. This is how I want to present this painting. Okay, cool. I'm done with the roses. Still, I'm not sure how I feel about them. I might change them in the future. It doesn't look bad for now. through the feathers. Well, that was easy. When you are 100% sure of something, it's easy and it's so fun. Now it's time for outlines. We don't have to put our mind into the painting, and it's just the redoing with the clean, beautiful outlines. So let's just enjoy the process. Well, I do the outlines for the flowers as well. They are not helping me to tell my story in this illustration, so let's change them. What I want is something that brings my culture to this painting, brings my background to this painting, and I don't have something to tell where I'm come from. So I did a little research and I found some amazing artists who create tashib. Tashib is some kind of flowers that you can mostly find in Persian carpets and in Iranian arts. So I'm going to use tashib in my painting for sure. Already I'm so excited. And I did watch the tutorial videos, I did watch the artist artworks. I learned how to draw tashib and let's do it. Usually tashib is symmetrical, and because of that I'm using the Procreate Symmetric Assistant. This is very time saving. Tasheeb is like a garden. It's full of flowers, and if you just go to the details, you can be amazed by how they simplified the flowers and the leaves, and they got to this style and just symbolize everything. And I'm so excited that I'm using Tasheeb in my self-portrait to show who I am, because this is for sure a big part of my background. Now it's time for Tasheeb outline. It's time to color. You can do whatever you want, and you can choose your color palette in any way that you like, but this is what I did for this piece. I use one of my obsession, which is sunlight, and I get inspired by nature, especially the time that sun is very low or the time that sun is just coming up and it's very early and there's a red light in the sky. I love that color. I tried to redo the nature in my painting. I started with yellow and then graduated to the red and just smoothed them together to make it feeling like smooth. This is for the sunlight number 1. And for the second sun, I'm using a darker palette, a gradient from darker red to dark purple, like a sun that is happening in the night time. For the rest of the painting, I am getting inspired by nature mostly. I am collecting photos and videos from the nature, from the flowers, from the everything that is happening in my daily life is, and I'm thinking that's the gorgeous color that I want to use in one of my paintings. I'm collecting everything, and when it times to color, I'm just going through my color palette and choose the colors that feels right for the painting. You can do the same, you can get inspired by your environment, or again you can use just other artists' color palette if you like them, so why not? For the tasheed, again I got inspired by the artist who done the tasheed, and I tried to use the similar color as they did. Go for the details, not with the black color, just try to do the details with the color and put the colors next to each other. Don't be afraid, you cannot do something wrong, everything you do is right. It's your style and it's your painting. The last part and my favorite part is shadows and lights. Procreate is giving an option to us, and you can put filters and see your layers in other effects. I recommend to do this and try them out. You never know what's going to happen. It's amazing. Just explore and you may like it. Well done! Congratulations! You finish your artwork and no one can take it from you. Enjoy your art and have fun.